that out, there's a whole bunch of questions which, you know, I'd like some input on in terms of, you know, what we want to see it doing that other forums maybe don't do, you know, that sort of thing. So at the moment we've got a few unique features like XML RPC and pingbacks and things like that. And we've got the plugin and theme API, which is common with WordPress, which is kind of cool. And we've got the user integration with WordPress. So these are kind of the unique strengths.
A couple of others have pingbacks now.
Yeah. So just to in XML RPC, and all of the calls are documented in line, but oh come on, it's just a couple of hours. Okay, so we've got basically just about everything you can do through the front end. You can do through XML RPC. I actually was starting to write a compatibility layer with WordPress, with the WordPress XML RPC API, so you could actually use like any WordPress plugin client, desktop client, but it proved to be just a little bit too incompatible in terms of exactly what became what. So I was equating forums with categories, but that wasn't really going to work because you can't post in more than, in WordPress you can post in more than one category, but in bbPress you can't post in more than one forum. So there were kind of a few problems. So just to expedite things, I sort of pulled it out for this release. But maybe that's something we could do later on. But yeah, I guess in terms of the future, some ideas that I've had are things like making bbPress be more like a bit of an aggregator and a re-aggregator or a re-feeder, so that you could make, like, say, a forum that pointed to an RSS feed, and every single item that came in on the RSS feed became a topic, and then it could be commented on. Or you can point one forum to multiple RSS feeds. So this would help people who want to, say, shift their comments off WordPress and onto a forum. They could do that using that really quite simply. Other ideas are things like taking email discussion lists and reposting them into bbPress, so bbPress could subscribe to an email discussion list. And then all of this could be fed into a forum or several forums and re-fed out through RSS or any other sort of, anything. So there was that. Oh yeah, the other thing was that at the moment in bbPress we've got this thing called views. So if I go back here, we've got these views, and these are programmatically created by the administrator to do different things. So, you know, I mean, they're self-explanatory. They're just views that have certain states, and there's a really powerful query engine, bbQuery, which allows you to set up new views really quite easily, based on all sorts of criteria, time, type of post, you know, that sort of stuff. An idea that I've had is that we could create some sort of interface to allow each user to make their own custom views. So if bbPress was to aggregate a whole bunch of content, like it might be a feed of change sets from track, or a ticket feed from a track installation, email discussion list, just general news off a news site somewhere via RSS, then a user could come in, and in their profile they could create their own custom view and feed it out. You know, so they can take a feed of just the stuff they're interested in. I'm only interested in what this user says. I'm only interested in these two forums, you know, and create one single aggregated view for them. And these views, yeah, okay. So these views actually have RSS feeds as well. So if we allow people to customize this sort of stuff, then they can create their own aggregate feeds. So they're just kind of some ideas. I kind of see bbPress has potential as being kind of like a box where you put in lots of data via several methods and allow people lots of ways to customize the data that comes out. And that way it's kind of more than a forum.
It's like an aggregation engine of some sort.
Yeah, and
a forum at the same time.
Yeah, but a forum at the same time.
Yeah.
So you could turn it into like, you could customize a theme and turn it into like a live streaming kind of thing for yourself. So like if one forum was your Flickr feed and one forum was your Twitter feed and one forum was your blog.
Why do that to bbPress instead of WordPress?
And why not? Well, because because WordPress has like a very specific functionality for writing and blogging, whereas bbPress seems to be a bit more of an empty box, if you know what I mean. So it seems to be more inclined towards that, because there's not a heavy back end. It's like much slimmer code. Like most of our bbPress sites don't run with any caching whatsoever. So, and they're quite big too. So I kind of think it's a bit slimmer than WordPress in that sense. Like the distribution file, like the zip file, is like half a meg.
So maybe WordPress 3.0 could be based on bbPress.
There's also things like there's no WYSIWYG, there's no...
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm up to in my thinking, and I kind of wanted to see what people here thought about what they'd like to see or what they think bbPress could do that could be different to other forum software, what would be useful, particularly in terms of
helping out
the primary audience, which is people who are integrating it with WordPress.
Yeah.
Not just in getting it installed, but also in like what would be good for a blogger to have in a forum.
I had one definitely for that. Loading, basically like making it a simpler process to load both bbPress and WordPress, the engines of both at the same time. Because basically if you're slapping together a bbPress installation really quickly and integrating it, it's much easier to just use your header and footer off your WordPress install.
So we overcame some hurdles recently in terms of loading WordPress inside bbPress. So it's now possible, and it's set up so that the function names won't clash. So there's lots of if function exists, don't load this function kind of stuff going on. But I mean, there's some real kind of problems with doing that. Like I tend to not recommend people do that, just because the API calls are different. So like wbhead doesn't get triggered in bbPress.
Yeah.
So if your header file says wbhead, then you don't get the bbhead trigger, which is important for getting like all of the right things going on.
So integration a lot harder.
It does.
Yeah. Because
So
that
would make it way easier.
Yeah, the header and footer was like, if we can make this work, we can skip hours and hours and hours of work in a project that we're doing.
Yeah.
And ideally, it would be like, do that, even if you had to set a constant or something saying, use get a WordPress header footer hack.
Yeah, we could kind of go down a path. I mean, part of the problem is that we've got WordPress and bbPress both have like API calls within themes.
Yeah.
So like,
even if you add, because there's nothing negative to adding do action bb head to your WordPress thing. If you have nothing hooked to it in WordPress, there's no downside to that.
Or just add it as another added
action
head hook to WP head.
Yeah.
If WP head doesn't exist, it never gets called.
Or it throws
cascading actions.
Yeah. No, there's no errors on actions that don't exist.
Yeah, but I don't think it's an action. I think it's an actual function. And I think that's the same in.
But the actual function in WordPress just calls an action.
Yeah.
Actual. That's right. I had to parse that sentence. If you SVNF by fixed the ellipsis.
Thanks. That's like your first commit to bbPress.
That's 2 years.
That's gonna really throw people.
You might want to plug some power in.
All right.
I actually screwed up the first time, so it was 2 commits. I put in a unit code that my editor failed.
I'll give you props in the release notes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like there's a couple of things like head, and then like here it's a function as well, so it's kind of.
But so each of those exist as WordPress filters. Each of those things exist as WordPress filters.
So WP head. So we could filter. That's the other thing. When you load WordPress inside bbPress, it actually clears all the filters.
Oh yeah, there's a bug with the KSCS handling too, actually, where if you, how did it work? Who's Will Norris? Is he around? No, Mark Jacobs.
Yeah.
Contact me about it. It's like if you load them both, then it slightly messes with KSCS somehow.
Could do.
I forget exactly how.
Could do.
Instead of
Okay.
this bbPress doesn't have extra.
I don't know.
I just searched.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I suppose what we could do is